It's about, lining up services or, the actual implementation. There are a few options, and you could really start again where we started this podcast, looking at the models. It's really a decision on, do you use pre-built? Do you have a specific niche requirement with small models and you train your own? You got to factor in what that's going to cost to host them, to train them. The larger the scope, more money, the more resources it's going to take to train that. It's also time consuming, and you're going to need that sort of expert knowledge. So sort of pick and choose, do you want to go down that route of hosting your own model, even training your own model, or do you opt for third-party services? There are a lot out there. I know we've evaluated a lot, and they're often expensive. And the problem is you can also be tying yourself into the functional direction that they're going to best support their product, not necessarily your product. So it's general. You're going to have limited functionality. You can't pivot necessarily to where you want to go. Building on what you're saying about Salesforce, they'll do that to, often improve their service offerings. But when you want to do something custom or move outside, you've got to ask the question, do you want to go down a proprietary route where you're tied into a certain application, or do you need the flexibility to move where your users are going and pivot, which a kind of custom approach will offer you? The last option is really using cloud services. So they're a lot of great, if you look at AWS or Amazon sort of web services, you look at Azure. There are a lot of platforms that offer these cloud services with different models that you can easily tap into and you can integrate into your own software. So there you've got the ability to immediately take advantage of a secure environment where you can change the technology. You have more opinion on what you can do and what you can use and the direction you go. But you're able to just harness these really quickly and select your models and choose from a different range, have that data security. Those are some options on how can you practically, go ahead and implement this. And
just to sort of also discuss the last point a bit, when we talk about cloud services, it's almost like model as a service. It's kind of like you're using an existing model out there that existing cloud services are hosting for you and making available for you. So you can pick and choose as you want, and it's really easy just to sort of connect up to them. So just sort of when you're looking at the landscape, it's like, okay, do we build our own models? Do we use existing models but try and host them ourselves and try and use them ourselves, which is, again, really costly when it comes to compute and infrastructure costs? Do you sort of build out this, just sort of, go with a packaged third-party solution that does it all for you? Or overall, do you want to go with cloud services, which I think which in my opinion are just a great middle ground, because it gives you the flexibility to sort of pivot to any models that come out or new ones, or sort of change your direction, but it's still giving you a very reliable infrastructure to build upon without sort of being limited by the other two.
You may be wondering, well, I see some potential, but how do we go about doing this? And I guess that's where it comes in. How can we help?
We've been launching products, software products, for almost every industry for the past 20 years, small, medium, large businesses, you name it. And our approach has always been around a holistic approach where we think about the user. We're user-centric first, not feature-centric, which is, this is another thing that could be another feature. And antiquated companies will think about, we just want this feature, that feature, and then I don't care what the user wants. They're just going to get it, and we're going to spend a ton of money to integrate it. That's the wrong approach. We approach it very user-centric, but we also look into business goals, objectives, constraints of the system. We tie this all together, and we have our, I don't want to say proprietary, but it's something that we do very uniquely that has really helped organizations understand and lay out a path of what is a priority, what do users really want, how does it affect our business, and create a rapid way in which we do this quickly with leadership to come up with a roadmap of how that is going to happen and create your MVP. Because we've expanded our expertise to not just do software products, but actually integrate AI into products. This is something that we feel is very important for organizations getting into this type of feature into their products, because it can be a very expensive resource, a very costly resource if you do it incorrectly. And that can make or break your company.